The drums started at midnight, and everyone in the village of Kwame knew, when the royal drums played themselves, someone was going to die. Adaora sat up in her bed, sweat running down her face. Through her window, she could see the sacred drum house at the center of the village. No one was inside. No one was near it. But the drums were playing. And they were calling her name. Adaora. 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 The deep boom of the talking drums spelled out her name in the old rhythm language. The same language her grandfather had taught her before he died. The same drums he had played for 50 years as the village's master drummer. She grabbed her wrapper and ran outside. Other villagers were coming out of their homes, faces full of fear. The drums never lied. When they called someone's name at midnight, that person had 7 days to live. "It's the curse," her Aunt Ngozi whispered, clutching Adaora's arm. "Your grandfather warned us. He said if the drums ever played by themselves." "Grandfather said many things," Adaora cut her off. But her voice shook. The village chief, Okonkwo, walked toward the drum house with his staff. He was old, older than anyone could remember, with white hair and eyes that seemed to see everything. "Stop!" Adaora called out. "Don't go in there." But he was already at the door. The moment he touched it, the drums stopped. The silence was worse than the noise. Okonkwo turned to face the crowd. "Adaora, daughter of Chibweek, granddaughter of Odogwu the drummer. The ancestors are calling. You must go to your grandfather's grave at dawn. Alone. They will tell you what you must do." "And if I don't?" The chief's face was sad. "Then in 7 days, you will join him." Adaora didn't sleep. As the first light came through the trees, she walked to the old burial ground at the edge of the village. The morning mist made everything look like a dream, or a nightmare. Her grandfather's grave was under the big baobab tree, marked with his favorite drum and cowrie shells. She knelt down, hands shaking. "Grandfather, if you're there, if this is you, please, tell me what I did wrong." The air grew cold. The mist grew thick. And then she heard it, her grandfather's voice, but not from the grave. From behind her. "You didn't do anything wrong, my child. But you carry something that doesn't belong to you." She spun around. There was no one there. Just mist and shadows. "The necklace," the voice said. "The one you found in my room after I died. The one you wear every day." Adaora's hand flew to her neck. The beautiful coral necklace. She'd found it in a small box in her grandfather's things. She'd thought it was a gift meant for her. "That necklace was stolen, Adaora. 50 years ago, from a woman named Chimamanda. A woman I loved. A woman who cursed me and every person who touched that necklace after her death. You stole it." "I was young. Foolish. I wanted to marry her, but her family refused. I thought if I took something precious to her, she would have to see me, speak to me. But she died before I could return it. Died of a broken heart," they said. And with her last breath, she cursed the necklace. "Whoever wears what was stolen from me will hear the drums of death. They will have 7 days to make it right, or join me in the grave." Adaora's hands shook as she unclasped the necklace. "How do I make it right? She's dead. You're dead. How?" "Her granddaughter lives in Lagos. Find her. Return what was stolen. Tell her the truth. Only then will the curse be broken." The mist cleared. The voice was gone. And Adaora was alone with a necklace that felt like it was burning her hands. She had 6 days left. Adaora took a bus to Lagos that same morning. The city was huge, loud, nothing like her village. Her grandfather had given her a name, Chimamanda Okeke, and an old address from 50 years ago. The address led her to an old part of the city, where the buildings were falling apart and the streets were narrow. An old woman sat outside one of the houses, selling oranges. "Excuse me, Ma. I'm looking for the Okeke family. The family of Chimamanda Okeke." The old woman's eyes went wide. "Chimamanda. That name. I haven't heard it in years. She was my grandmother. But she died long before I was born. Why do you ask?" "I have something that belonged to her." Adaora pulled out the necklace. something that was taken from her. The woman stood up slowly, staring at the necklace like she'd seen a ghost. That's the coral necklace. From the stories. My mother told me about it. She said it was stolen by a drummer from a village in the east. She said my grandmother died crying for it, cursed the man who took it. The man was my grandfather, Adaora said quietly. He's dead now. But he told me to return it. To make things right. The woman, whose name was Amarachi, invited her inside. The house was small, full of old photos and memories. Amarachi made tea and they sat together. My grandmother loved that necklace, Amarachi said. It was given to her by her own grandmother. 4 generations of women wore it. When it was stolen, she felt like her whole family history was ripped away. She died of sadness, yes, but also of anger. I'm sorry, Adaora whispered. I didn't know. I just found it and... You didn't steal it. You're trying to return it. That takes courage. Amarachi held the necklace up to the light. The coral beads glowed red. But I wonder, is returning it enough? Adaora's heart dropped. What do you mean? The curse, Amarachi said slowly. The drums called your name. You have 7 days. Today is day 2. But my grandmother's curse wasn't just about returning the necklace. It was about justice. About making the thief pay. My grandfather is dead. What more can I do? Amarachi smiled. It wasn't a kind smile. That's the question, isn't it? Night fell. Amarachi insisted Adaora stay. It's too late to travel. Sleep here. We'll figure this out in the morning. But Adaora couldn't sleep. Something felt wrong. She got up to use the bathroom and passed by Amarachi's bedroom. The door was open. Inside, Amarachi was on the phone, speaking in a low voice. Yes, she's here. Yes, she brought it. Tomorrow night. Don't worry, she trusts me. Adaora's blood went cold. She crept back to the guest room, locked the door, and waited. Her mind raced. Who was Amarachi talking to? What was happening tomorrow night? At dawn, she pretended to sleep. When Amarachi knocked on the door, Adaora acted normal, tired. Good morning, Amarachi said, smiling. I have good news. I know how to break the curse. But we need to do a ceremony. Tonight. At midnight. I've called a dibia, a priest. He'll help us. A ceremony? Yes. To speak to my grandmother's spirit. To ask her to lift the curse. But Adaora, you must bring something else. Something personal from your grandfather. Something he treasured. Adaora's stomach turned. Why? The spirit needs balance. A treasure for a treasure. A life for a life. Those words. A life for a life. Adaora remembered what her grandfather said, only the truth will set you free. Not a ceremony. Not a priest. The truth. Amarachi, Adaora said slowly. Can I see a photo of your grandmother? Chimamanda. Amarachi's smile froze. Why? I want to see her. The woman this all started with. Amarachi hesitated, then pulled out an old photo album. She flipped through it, then stopped. Here. This is her. The photo showed a young woman in traditional clothes, beautiful, proud. But something was wrong. The woman in the photo was wearing the coral necklace. When was this taken? Adaora asked. 2 weeks before she died. But, if the necklace was stolen before she died, how is she wearing it in this photo? Amarachi's face changed. The kindness drained away like water from a broken pot. You're smarter than you look, she said coldly. The necklace was never stolen, was it? Amarachi laughed. No, it wasn't. My grandmother gave it to your grandfather. She loved him. But when her family found out she was seeing a poor drummer, they forced her to end it. She gave him the necklace as a goodbye gift. A piece of her heart. Then why? Because she died, and my family blamed him. Said he'd shamed her, broken her heart. They told everyone he'd stolen from her. They cursed his name. And when I found out his granddaughter was wearing that necklace like it was hers, Amarachi's voice turned to ice. I wanted revenge. You made up the curse. I did more than that. I have friends in your village. I paid them to play those drums at midnight. To make everyone think the ancestors were angry. To scare you into coming here. She pulled out a knife from behind her back. And tonight, you are going to disappear. An accident. A girl from the village, lost in the big city. No one would ask questions. Adaora's heart was pounding. She was trapped. The door was locked from the outside now. She heard it click. But there's a problem with your plan, Adaora said, voice shaking but clear. You assumed I came alone. Amarachi laughed. You did come alone. No, said a voice from the window. Chief Okonkwo climbed through, moving fast for an old man. Behind him, 2 village men. She didn't. Later, as the police took Amarachi away, Chief Okonkwo sat with Adaora on the steps outside. You knew, Adaora said. You knew it wasn't a real curse. I suspected. Your grandfather told me the truth about the necklace before he died. He was full of guilt. But I also knew Chimamanda's family had always hated our village. When the drums played, I knew something was wrong. Real ancestors don't need drums to speak. They speak through wisdom, through dreams, through the wind. So you followed me. I protected you, as I promised your grandfather I would. Adaora looked at the necklace in her hands. What do I do with this? That, Okonkwo said, is your choice. It was given in love. It was lied about in hatred. Now you can decide what it becomes. Adaora thought for a long moment. Then she clasped it around her neck. I'll wear it, she said. To remember that the truth is more powerful than any curse. And that love, real love, doesn't need to be stolen. It's given freely. The old chief smiled. Your grandfather would be proud. As they walked back to catch the bus home, the morning sun rose over Lagos. And somewhere, in the space between the living and the dead, Adaora felt her grandfather smile. The drums would never call her name again. Because she'd learned the most important lesson of all. The truth sets you free.